I started becoming fascinated by a woman who wasn't mine. I work in an environment that is full of beautiful women. There are women younger than her, more attractive than her, better dressed than her, but strangely, the person who kept me awake at night was a 38-year-old single mother. A woman who, according to my logic, I shouldn't even be paying attention to. A woman who wasn't even noticeably by conventional standards. She wasn't the type of woman who stood out. She didn't wear designer clothes. She didn't wear heavy makeup. She didn't carry herself like Soumya knew who wanted attention. Sometimes simply wore a plain shirt and regular office pants. If she stood among a group of young, beautiful women, she could easily be overlooked. But the moment she started speaking, everyone immediately realized she was not ordinary. She was extremely intelligent, not the kind of intelligence that tries to show off, but the kind that naturally earns respect. At work, she was very serious, very focused. The way she analyzed problems was always clear and logical. The ideas she shared often made the entire meeting room fall silent for a few seconds as everyone processed what she said. But the thing that made her special was her sense of humor. The woman who could calm an entire room. Some meetings lasted for hours. People started getting tense. Arguments broke out. The atmosphere became heavy. At times like that, she would sit quietly for a while, observing, listening to everyone debate. Then suddenly she would say something very gently, sometimes just a small joke, but somehow that one sentence would make the whole room laugh. The tension would disappear instantly. The discussion would suddenly feel lighter. I often wondered how a woman could stay that calm. She never tried to shine, but somehow, she always became the person everyone paid attention to. And I was no exception. I started paying attention to her. At first, he thought it was just admiration. Admiration for an intelligent woman. Admiration for a capable colleague. But over time, I realized it wasn't that simple. I started noticing her more. The way she spoke, the way she laughed, the way she listened to people. Sometimes during meetings, I noticed something strange. I was no longer paying attention to the discussion. Instead, I found myself subconsciously looking at her. Sometimes would look back at me. Her eyes were calm. Then she would smile, just a very slight smile. But for some reason, every time that happened, Eddie became nervous like a college student. A feeling I thought he had left behind a long time ago. The thing that started to scare Mother was Somathinji began to realize I was thinking about her more than normal, more than necessary. For example, after work, while driving home, while having dinner, some measure image would suddenly appear in my mind. I would start wondering, what is she doing right now? Is she still working? Or is she at home with her daughter? Those thoughts came very naturally. But then, I suddenly realized something frightening. I shouldn't be thinking about her this much. I already had a girlfriend, not just a normal relationship, but the woman who was about to become my wife. That realization made me uncomfortable with myself. The worst part wasn't that I thought about her. It was that I started talking about her to my girlfriend. At first it was just casual stories. I would say, today, a new consultant joined the company. She's quite interesting. She's very intelligent. My girlfriend simply smiled. She didn't think much about it. Sometimes even asked more questions. She trusted me completely, but only I knew. Every time I mentioned Harry, felt something strange, a sense of excitement, like I wanted to talk about her more and more. I began finding excuses to bring her into conversations, even if it was just a small detail, a sentence, something that happened in a meeting. At that time, I still didn't understand why I was doing that, but now when I look back, I know exactly why. I wanted to mention her because talking about her made me feel good. The truth, I didn't want to add monotone evening while sitting alone. I began thinking seriously. I asked myself, what am I doing? I'm about to get married. I have a good girlfriend, a stable relationship. So why's my mind drifting toward another woman? A woman who doesn't belong to me. A woman who logically, I should keep my distance from. But the more I tried not to think about her, the more I thought about her. That's when I realized something that honestly scared me. Maybe I was starting to fall under her spell. The moment everything started to change one evening, I opened my phone. I saw her name in my contacts. We had exchanged numbers for work. I stared at the screen for a long time. Inside my head there were two voices. One voice said, don't do anything. Everything is fine. Don't create trouble for yourself. But another voice whispered, it's just a work message. There's nothing wrong with that. I picked up my phone, typed a message, then deleted it, typed again, then deleted it again. My heart started beating faster. I knew very well, if I sent that message, things might never be the same again. But in the end, I still did something that deep down I knew I shouldn't. I texted her. The moment the message was sent, my heart was pounding so hard he could hear it. And what I didn't expect was, she replied almost immediately. That message became the moment everything afterward started becoming far more dangerous. If it were you, would you send that message? Comment yes or no, because part 3 is when the story begins to spiral out of control.